Hi everyone and happy Monday. Welcome to another planner page. My desk seems to be wobbling. I think it's okay. Anyway, so we have quite a complex planner page today, and I have been looking at this page a little bit and wondering what on earth to do with it. And I thought before I started I would just talk about how you could tackle such a complex page. Now there are different options you could choose. You could do this bottom border first, you could do the side border first, you could start in the middle, you could start one flower at a time and just work through. You could do the background. So there are lots of different things that you could do, and it's good to try and pick something that feels to you less daunting. So if it's just that little flower there, then start with that and try and ignore the rest. Just do that bit. Another way of tackling it is to have a limited colour palette, so you're not colouring having to keep on picking and choosing colours all the time, which can take time and can be a little bit tricky. So I've had several different ideas for the page. I thought I might talk you through the ideas. I thought all these sort of lines and borders I could do in a gold metallic pen. I could do a dark blue background and then sort of do all the rest with colours, with a light blue background in there for sky and a sort of night type background there. That was one sort of idea. Another idea was that I just got my pastels, did a sunsetty type background from red to orange to yellow. I usually start with my red at the bottom, maybe not there, but in this box, and then colour everything else black with a black pen to make it really straightforward. So that is another idea. I think I am going to go with my light blue background here, dark blue here, sort of night and day type idea for this, and I just thought I would make a start really. Now the blue background is not going to be awfully exciting to watch, so I probably won't do that on camera, but I might start it and just talk you through a few bits. But what we'll do is we'll start with the flowers and then we'll think about background. It might be a series of videos because it's quite a big picture. It's not a big picture, but it's quite a detailed picture. So the thing with, if you want a background, choose it now. You don't have to do it now, but choose it now, because I'm saying I want light blue. So that means I have to ignore, not colour anything light blue, or else it'll just get lost into the background. So it's always a good idea just to do a little bit of planning first, even if you're not going to do it right away. Let's come in a little bit closer, because I'm just going to concentrate on the bit within this sort of arch. I'm using my Kolores pencils. They look like this. There are different sets. There's a 50 set, this is a 36 set, there's a 24, there's a 12, and there is a pastel set as well. Now the pastel set, I thought I might pick one of the blues for the background to make it look quite different. But we'll do the, we use the main set. I will tell you if I switch, so you know where I'm at. But we're doing the main set at the minute, and I thought I would just start with all these really teeny flowers. There's quite a few along the bottom, around the side and at the top. Just seeing if we're all in shot. We are, and I thought I would do them all in the same colour just to keep it nice and simple. Now in our just realised I haven't got any scrap paper in here. Never mind. In our normal set we've got this pink, which is quite pale. So I thought I quite fancied using that for all the flowers. And it is number 12. Okay. Now I need to sharpen it. I haven't got my dowel sharpener in here today. I've just got a Staedtler. I nicked it last night because I was working in the other room. So anyway, I only tend to come in here when I'm recording. I do all of the rest of my colouring next door where I'm with the family. But at the moment, my two boys are planning some sort of weird and wonderful Minecraft thing that they're having to concentrate on, so I thought it would be a good time to come and do a little bit of recording while they're busy together. They're not actually doing a record. My one son's been doing a lot of lives, the other one joins in from time to time. That's quite nice. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just doing a basic colour. I'm not actually doing a lot of shading. I had thought about trying to make it a little bit darker near the centre of the flower, but because these are really small, I'm just covering them with colour really. And I thought, I'd made up my mind that these are going to be pink. So I thought if I do all this pink first, it will help me to choose my other colours. I mean, you could. I was saying about a limited colour palette. I mean, I've only got 36 pencils here, and I'm unlikely to use the browns, to be honest, so that cuts it down a little bit more. But you might want to choose just pinks, just blues, just purples, something like that perhaps, and that'll keep it even simpler. Now, I'm not doing the flower middles. You could just keep them this colour, but I want to just change colour a little bit. I think there's a pink. There's lots of reds, but I'm not sure which is a pinky red, so I could always try my pencil on the facing page because I'm not going to write on it. As I say, I haven't got any scrap paper in here. I usually have a pad, but I've left it next door because I was using it earlier. So what I do is I keep a pad in here, note down the pencils I've used for my video so that I can pop them in the description. So they're always there for you, so that you, if you want to grab your pencils ready, or if you're using a different set, you can see what I used and use one of the conversion charts. So that's why I do that. I always find it useful when I'm following a video. I was thinking about those, but I think we'll go straight to the edge here. I also find it useful when I'm following a video, so that's why I put them on. And I have tried to put them in the order I use them, but that's quite tricky because often I use the same colour several times and then I don't know whether to just put it down for the first time I used it or quite what. So, and I know some people put them on the screen, and I know that would be really useful, but my editing skills are not quite that well tuned. Also, it takes a lot of time, and I don't like my editing to take time off recording, because recording is the fun bit for me. Editing, not quite so much. So it's okay. I've got a new piece of software which I've bought to make thumbnails, which is really good fun. I'm playing around with that. That's made it much more fun. So that's something. But my editing software isn't much fun. My son showed me his. I'm just going to now, we've got different shapes of florals up here. So some of these, like this one, look like this, but these look different. And I'm just having a think, but I think I am going to keep them all pink. Not, just for simplicity's sake, really. I'm going to resharpen, get a nice sharp point and do all the little ones. Yeah, so my son showed me his editing software, but it didn't look any more fun. So one of my sons just shouted really loudly then. I don't know quite what they're doing. I think they're doing something that's a bit frustrating. So anyway, hopefully it's okay. And we popped into town this morning. They said to me, "Mum, we're going into town." I was like, children are asking to go into town, but apparently they'd run out of shower gel. They wanted to go, and it was nice because they didn't just ask me to get it for them, they came with me. And then they were a bit cross with me though, because I said, okay, we'll just pop to the shop and get your shower gel, and then I'm going to go to the sweet shop and get some 100% chocolate because I haven't had any in for a while. Okay, I said just 2 shops. So we got to the edge of town. I said, oh, I'd just like to pop in this other shop. Would you mind? And so I went into a deli and got some jarred chickpeas and some different bits and pieces. They chose a few things that they shouldn't have been cross, but anyway. And then I went into, there's a vegan deli that's just opened up, and I popped in there to talk to them because I'm looking for some high protein food that I can eat while we haven't got a kitchen. So I asked them about it, but the problem is I've got so many food intolerances, it's really difficult, because although I can't have lactose, so the sort of vegan-y foods are quite good, they always have onion, garlic, chilli, or paprika, or nuts in, none of which I can eat. But they had some soups, so I wrote down the brand name. I said I'd go to the manufacturer and check if they were okay, but they weren't. They also had they had garlic and chilli in a lot of them, and that's something else that I can take very small quantities but not big quantities, so it's a bit risky. I don't like I know some people who have intolerances just ignore them and don't seem to mind, but I really don't like it when my tum's upset It's can get quite sore with chili. Even if I have the tiniest bit, I get a tummy ache for 2 weeks. And of course it's upset as well, not for the whole 2 weeks, but it's upset quite for a while. It's just not very pleasant. I don't know how people can, perhaps people don't get such extreme reactions as me, but I don't, just don't like it. And I was sort of thinking the other day, you know, my stomach's been really good for ages because I've just been eating things that I know suit me really well, and it's so nice, you know, just to know that I can have a sort of safe foods, as it were, that suit me. And a lot of people are like, but what do you eat? I love my veg. I eat loads of veg. I like beans and lentils for my protein, but I drink soya milk, which is a bit overly processed in a way for my liking, but it's very good for protein. And I have the one without added sugars and that sort of thing. I have whole grains, so I really enjoy what I eat, and it suits me, so that's good. But anyway, they did suggest I make chickpea tuna. Now it's not tuna, it's not fish. I do eat fish actually, and tuna is something that I am going to be eating a little bit of, but to be a bit wary with tuna because of the heavy metals in it. I can't have it every day. But what you do is you mash up your chickpeas and then you put them in a mayo as if they're tuna with onions and things. And I was not sure whether they would become tasty enough. But I was thinking if I'm going to use chickpeas raw, I'd probably just pop them in a salad and stir them in. You know, so I don't know if that would really... You could put that in a sandwich, I guess. But I probably won't have bread. I'll have toast. We freeze all our bread because we buy it once a week from our farmer's market, so it doesn't stay fresh all week. So we just we have fresh bread for a few days, and then but we buy a few loaves and freeze one. So anyway, I could always buy some rolls and things, I don't know. But I'm just pondering these ideas, but I'm getting more ideas and feeling a bit more happy about it all. And it seems like it's not going to be that long that we're without a kitchen. So the work has, by the time this video goes out, hopefully some of the work will have been done already. It's actually due to start next week. We're on the 4th of August recording this. I'm quite way ahead of myself just because I know I'm going to have days when it's so noisy or we have no electric and things like that. I just won't be able to record. So anyway, oh, sorry, I got an itch. We're having a bit of it starting, so they're ripping out some of the area, and then it sort of getting it going really, which is nice. Now I think, oh, I've just remembered where I've got some scrap paper. Hang on a minute. There's a bit on my windowsill. Oh, now the light's coming on. Hang on. There we go. Oh, that's quite a big piece. Oh, I'll get a smaller bit, sorry. It's behind the blind doing the scrap paper. There we go. So, I want a pinky red to go with this. So let us try number 10. That's quite red, but it is not, it's certainly pinky-ish. This is number 9. They're quite similar, aren't they? And then we have number 8. I don't think any of them really match that pink. What about this? That's better. This number 13. I'm going to use the purple. Okay. So just to do each middle, and I'm going to keep it simple still. Just a circle. But yes, he's almost, I think we might only be a couple of weeks, which will be good. And we might have an oven for a week of that. So it sounds brilliant. So I'm just keeping positive. And if we've got an oven, we can do roasted veggies and things, and it'd just be easy. And I've already put some food, I've done a few things and frozen them so that I can just microwave them, so I think will be really cool. So it's good. I'm feeling much happier. I've been choosing tables and chairs and bar stools and towel rails and things today. I've just found out that the tap that I like will work with our system. It's very complicated. We're having softened water, but you're supposed to have an unsoftened supply as well somewhere in the house, so we've got a three-way tap for the kitchen with cold unsoftened and hot and cold softened. It's because the softened water's got very high sodium levels. If there's anyone visiting your house that can't have high sodium, then you need to have a tap for them to have water from. Next, green. I'm going to do all the leaves in the same shades of green. I'm just looking at the greens in my selection and thinking about what I want. Let's scribble them again so you can see my thought process. So this is number 22. I don't think that's green, to be honest. It's like a light phthalo green, isn't it? That is 23. That's quite an olivey green. Might be out of order. Yeah, they are. This is 25. That might work. This one, oh, that's very olivey, 24. I like that, but it's not what I want. And that's 26. I think 23 and 25 are going to be the best ones. So there is our 25. The 23, is it that one? Yeah, okay, so those two. Oh, I just knocked my remote control. Okay, so I'm not going to do the outside greens, I'm just going to stick within here. I'm going to start with my darkest one, as I said, 23. And I'm going to do all the stems in 23. I'm going to do them first while I've got a nice sharp pencil, because yeah, I've still gone out the lines over there. It's the narrowest bit. Just trying to work out where all the stems actually are as well. But I'm just going to do these in the one cut. They're so narrow, it's really difficult to do more than one. So, I was thinking earlier that if there's the right sort of page in here, I might try my watercolour pencils in this book, because although the pages are really thin, I don't mind about it bleeding through because I don't use the back. Might not be the case for everyone, obviously, but it would be a good way to see if it does bleed through, wouldn't it? Because this is thin paper. I don't think it's as thin as copy paper though, but obviously I could just experiment on some rough copy paper and see if it bleeds through. I think it might also depend on how it's activated. There are quite a few people I know that do activate theirs with blending solution, like I sometimes do. I think I'm going to do those bits as well because they're quite thin. But if you activate with water, it has a different effect. When you use a blending solution, it does leave an oily, I'm going to do these little ones because they're so small. It does leave an oily look on the back of the page, but it just evaporates away eventually. I noticed yesterday I used blending solution on a picture, and the back was a big oily circle. It was a mandala circle, but by this morning I'd left it open on the page overnight and it had dried out. The main disadvantage I think of blending solution is the smell. The one I use, the smell isn't too offensive. It's strong, but it doesn't worry me. But I think some people might not like it. It is slightly citrusy, but it's chemically, it's not a natural oil thing, base. It's not like it's an orange oil or anything. It's just the smell. But it's not as bad as some. My husband was using turpentine and something when he was painting. Oh my goodness. the smell was so awful. It was, ugh, I can't remember what he was using it for either. Oh, he wanted to coat something to try and make it waterproof. And he used this stuff on top of his painted work. Ugh. I don't know why I guess, I think it's what oil painters use to thin their paint. Ugh, I couldn't bear it. It's lucky he doesn't do oil paints. Right, I think that's all the stems. Oh no. There we go. Whoops. My desk is making a clunking noise. It's the part beyond the, you can see down here, there's a join. This is this side, the right hand side is a flap, which is propped up with a leg, and it doesn't seem to be straight or something. I don't know what's going on with it. I know someone knelt on it the other day, but that might not have helped very much. I'm going to do these bits in a solid green because we have on other plants that have had this sort of shape because they were very thin. So I'm going to do the same here. And now I'm just going to start making the base of each leaf quite dark and then just fading that colour up, and we'll use the other green on the tops. So if you can blend it, if you can fade it, I mean, like that, then it will just naturally blend in. And it makes the blending process nice and easy. If you do a line like that and suddenly stop, it makes it much, you can't really blend the other colour in. So it's just the way it works really, and these blend quite nicely. Obviously you may be using a different brand. Some brands blend better than others, and the blending solution can help a little bit, but it can't work miracles. So if you've got, let's say like these flowers where you've got the circle in purple and the outside in pink, there's no overlap at the moment. You can't put a blending solution over them and expect it to just mix up. It doesn't work like that. It might with the certain brands of pencil. If you had a, I think I'm going to do these solid, if you had a really smushy pencil like a Prismacolor, it might work. You might be able to move the pencil around a bit, but with a harder pencil you can't really do that. You've got to be quite good at getting it going yourself, and then the blending solution just sort of finishes it off. So I was using it yesterday and I was using a really toothy paper, and so the blending solution just helped to push the pencil into the paper, and it gave it a paint look to it, so it looked like it was a painting rather than a pencil picture. And sometimes I feel a little bit sad when I do that because I want it to look like pencil, but that particular picture I was quite happy for the effect to do that. But sometimes I use my blending solution and it makes my picture look like I've done it in felt tip pens or paint, and it's not what I wanted really. So it's always worth having a bit of an experiment first so that you can see what it looks like if you're using it for the first time. Like on my scrap where I was scribbling, you can scribble a few colours and then go over it with your blending solution on your scrap paper, and then you can see how it looks and decide if it gives you the effect that you want. It's always worth doing that when you're, because with pencil you can erase to some extent, but once you've used your blending solution on it, it starts to become more difficult because it's pushing it down into the tooth of the paper. It's a lot deeper, so it's more difficult to erase, and it might start to stain the paper too, so you couldn't you couldn't necessarily erase all of it because it's just there right ingrained into the paper. Even with plain pencil that can happen, so you just have to be a little bit careful. So yeah, I've been procrastinating this page because it's so detailed, but yesterday I got myself, I was so busy, and the day before I just didn't feel like, I was almost in a spin. I don't know if you know what I mean, where you've got so much on, you're just trying to do everything and actually doing nothing. But today, better. Yesterday I had the kitchen fitters in. We'd had a meeting and talking about things, making decisions, and it was just a bit much, I think. But today, I've been out for a walk, always helps a bit. I finished a few jobs that I had hanging about, which I was sort of playing on my mind, but I couldn't quite get done. So I got those done, so that was really nice. And that sort of thing. I was waiting to hear back from a few people, and I've heard back from them now, and that sort of thing. So it's a lot better. I'm just trying to see where all the leaves are. We've got some down here, and I'm using the same technique with all of them, which is why I'm not really explaining. I'm just trying to do darker at the bottom and lighter at the tip, but if they're small leaves, I'm just covering them all in this colour. Now if this is too dark for you, you can always do those small bits in a lighter green, in the lighter shade, if you prefer. You know, it doesn't matter which you choose. I don't think it's not going to make a huge difference to the picture, but could make a difference. It'll make a difference with regards to how light or dark it looks. But I think those are leaves, but it won't matter. Now I'm giving it a good old scan. Have I got everything? I think I'm going to do those. Oh no, don't. There we go. Oh, those are petals, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to this pencil, whoops, which is the number 23. I've just got to wipe my nose, bear with me. Now I'm wondering whether to do all the flowers in pinks and purples. I'm having a think while I'm doing this. So what am I thinking? What's my thought process? Well, if I do them all in pinks and purples, we'll have a nice simple colour palette, so it will look nice and coherent and all match. But have I got enough pinks and purples to get a good variety of colour? Sorry, just grabbing my darker one for that. Is a question, so I'm just having a look. I'm thinking if I use my pastel pencils as well, then I will, because I haven't got many pinks in the dark set. What else? What else do I need to think about? Will I get bored of the same colour? Will it look nicer if there's some oranges and blues, or will the blues not quite work because we've got a blue sky coming in? It's that's what sort of runs through my head. And while I'm colouring this, I think now sometimes I have to say I just make a snap decision. I don't like to be thinking too hard and pondering. I want to get on with colouring. So if I'm taking too long to ponder, I just make a decision. And I know that probably sounds impossible to some people, but I just want to get on. I want to finish the page. I want to go on to another one. You know, I'm impatient, I suppose. I don't like having works in progress hanging around. My biggest amount of work in progress, of unfinished pages, I should say, is 17. And that was at a stage when I had to record a lot of videos all in one go. For some reason, I can't remember why. Maybe I was having a holiday or something, I don't know. And I had done 17 videos with all one element from the page which needed finishing, but I wasn't going to finish it on the video. So I had all these pages started, and I found that very, very uncomfortable. I tried to finish them quickly. Now the problem is that although I colour quickly, I admit that, but I can't just rush and finish a page and finish it for the sake of it. I still want it to look nice. So I might sit down and think, right, I'm going to get this page done quickly. But I find myself slowing down because I want to make sure it looks okay. I don't want to just get random colours, pull random colours out and just colour for the sake of it, you know. And I also want to enjoy it. And if you're that isn't the way to enjoy it. But I did end up finishing them all within a month, I think, and getting them done. But at the moment I've got one work in progress next door. I usually have one on the go which I'm not filming and one on the go which I am filming, but after a day of filming I may have a few others that need finishing. So I don't tend to have very many hanging around. I'm a sort of completist. I have to finish a page before I move on to the next. I can't leave pages half done. It's just not, it doesn't sit right, it doesn't feel right. So I, you know, I just make sure they're getting done. Right. I still haven't made a decision though with regards to a colour palette for this. So I'm still thinking about that. And obviously we need to avoid the old blue for the background. But I'm going to use a pastel blue anyway, so I could get away with some dark blues and it wouldn't look too wrong. So now you can see how the green looks with it just being the two shades. I think it works quite well because we do have a lighter and a darker contrast without it being too complicated, which I sort of wanted to avoid things getting too complex. I'm looking at the flower types and thinking about colour. I'm thinking purple, blues, pink, purpley pink. I'd like to do those orange, but I don't think it's going to work if I do those pinks and purples. That's blue. So these probably be blue as well. Although these look like oxeye daisies, which are normally orange. I think also now, where do I start flower wise? Okay, if there's a flower you really want to colour, just get on and do it. But I could just work from left to right, and then that would give me a sort of order without having to think about it really. So I'm going to start with these two, and I'm going to do a couple of purples. I think we have got actually 3 purples. I'm just going to scribble them. So this is number, that's nice, 16. This is number 15. And this one is 14. Oh, that's nice. And I'm going to sort of pair them up. I think 14 and 13 will go quite well together. So I'm going to use those two as a pair, and 15 and 16. That's how I'm going to do it. And I like pairing up because you can get some light and shade. But with this particular flower here, there are sort of sections. So there's this section and this section. Now you could do that bit as a leaf, but I'm going to do it as a petal. So I'm going to start with these sections. Now I'm going to try and fade my colour as I go up the petal, but I'm not sure I've got very much space to do that on this one. I'll just do my best. That's all I can do. And I'm going to do this one in the dark colour too. And fade it. Now the very centre I'm tempted to do black, just so it stands out a little bit. And fade it. And then we've got this one as well. I think there's only these. Oh, there's a little bud there. I'm going to do that now, or else I might forget it, so I'm just going to fade it towards the tip like that. There we go. Yes, so next week with our kitchen work, they're putting in the new boiler, taking out the old one, taking out a few cupboards and things. And we've got a few other jobs. I realised that that really needs to be green, that little casing, this bit. So I'm just going to do that. And there's a few other electrical jobs and things that they might be coming in to do as well. So that's good. He said Tuesday or Wednesday. Which one is this? We've got number 16 now. So I've got someone else coming in on Tuesday to do another job too. But it's all okay. It's all, those two haven't got the light green on. See, when you do this, it can be quite handy to keep your colours that you've been using out, so that when you miss a bit like that, you know what colour you used for it. What I do if I'm using a tray, let me show you. Oops. If I'm using a tray like this, I just put the pencil like that, so it's back in its position, but it's not away properly, and that helps me remember. I say I do that, I'm obviously not doing that now. They're just all over the table. But I've got a lot of space on my desk here, so I'm just enjoying luxuriating and being able to spread out in a lot of places. So hopefully you can see it's a little bit paler towards the end of the petal. Yes, I'm enjoying the space, but I tend to, when I'm recording, I tend to be a lot more fastidious in making sure that I leave them out handy, because I need to write down for you which ones I've used. So they need to be there. Okay, there's that one. That's that pair of purples. I'm going to grab the black and do those centres like I said I was going to. Oops. There we go. This one, I think it might work in blue. Yeah, let's try this blue. I'm going to have to sharpen it. It's very sharp. That's right in front of my nose. Of course it is. So this is quite a dark blue, so it's going to work with the light blue background. It's number 17. And what I'm going to try and do is to make it darker near the centre of the flower and lighter towards the end of the petal. Now with this shape of flower, it's always quite nice to sometimes make it dark, lighter at the tip as well as at the centre, but you need quite a big flower to do that with. And this one's quite small, so we're just trying to fade it down towards the tip. So have you seen Johanna Basford's flip through of her new book? Hopefully by now she shared the full flip through, but when this video is made, she just shared a quick thumb through, I would say, where she just literally flicked the pages like that. So you got to see just a little bit, and I was really excited. Now I have to admit, I was a little bit worried about this book, and not enough to not buy it. Obviously it's Johanna, you've got to buy it. It's the law, isn't it? But it looked like all the pages were really detailed like this one, and I thought, oh, I can cope with detailed pages, but not always. Sometimes, like, I've been procrastinating this page for weeks, I think. You know, I just brush away that little bit of pencil. There we go. Sometimes I'm just not up for it. So, but there are lots of different things going on in the book. I'm not going to necessarily give away any spoilers, because I know there are some people who really like to wait till they get the book and then look at the pages. Number 34, this is the black. I'm going to do this bit here black. I'm going to press harder at the bottom and do less towards the top. Hopefully it looks like it's got a little bit of a shine. So no, I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm just going to say that there are pages that aren't so detailed, so that made me really happy. Where are those reds? Should do some reds. No, it's not going to work, is it? Because if you're going to stick to purple, blue and pink, a red isn't going to work. Okay, I quite like these two in a pink, but I don't have a pinky colour, so I'm going to go into my pastel set. You can see there's a nice lot of pinks and purples there, so I'm going to just grab them all out. Now the problem with these is there are no numbers. Whoops. So they look almost the same as the other set, but they don't have the place to write your name or a number on. So there are 3 pinks here. I'm just going to grab one and use it. I think I'm going to use the lightest one. Okay, as looks the lightest just from the tip. And I'm going to put more layers around the centre and less towards the tip. Sometimes with pastel colours it doesn't make a big difference. You can't really see. Oh, I've missed a bit there, the green. Oh, pencil, can you just stay there? Allow me to colour. There we go. Anyway, there were pages with smaller items on, like there's a page in here like it. Oh. A bit like this. So you've got individual items, which I know Johanna tends to do in all of her books, but I just wasn't sure if she was going to. All the pictures she's shown us so far from Rooms of Wonder are full page sort of scenes, which, like the insides of rooms, which is what you would expect. But there were some other things as well, and got me really excited. So it meant that whatever mood you're in, whether you're in the mood for something really detailed or not, that's definitely needs to be green. There's something for you, which I think is brilliant. And so I'd already started picking. I rewatched her video about 10-12 times, and I kept trying to pause it. I watched it on Instagram, and you can sort of put your finger on the tablet and pause it and then replay it, and I was doing that. And trying to pick out the pages that I wanted to do with you. So that was brilliant fun. Now I'm going to do the centres in black. We've done all the centres so far, apart from these little ones in black. I'm going to carry on with that. Oh, there's a ambulance, I think that is. Now what I would try to do, if this was bigger, is make the black a lot darker on the outside than the centre, but I can't. Now these little dots I'm going to try and do to get a bit closer. Up here under my specs to be able to see them. Hopefully my hair isn't too much in shot. Look, I'm just going to sort of glance up at the screen, but I can't see it. It might be easier to do this in pen or with a really sharp pencil. I've missed there, haven't I? Oh well, that's the best I'm going to do. There we go. Now, so we've got a pastel pencil there. I'm just trying to organise my pencils a little bit. Okay, now this one here, oh, those bits there. Do you think they're buds from that plant? I think they are. I'm going to go back to the same pink that I was using. Just do that at the bottom quite dark. Lots of layers. And then less as we go up. Of course the pink is now next to the other pink, but I don't think it matters. There we go. Now this one I feel like doing a sort of mid-blue colour. Got blue here, I know, but if we're just sticking... Or we could do it purple. We've got one more purple. A little bit limited on colours. I think I'm going to do it the blue. That's what I said. I'll stick to my guns. So this is number 21. I think it's quite a greeny colour. My lamp is really wobbling. I hope it's not affecting the picture. I think as long as the camera doesn't wobble. That's so pretty. Oh, I love that. Look at that. You may not, but lovely. I hope it's not too pale. I'm going to do a really pale blue. I'm going to pick the lightest blue from the pastel set and apply it really lightly, because I think we need it to look like there's some sort of sky or something behind. I'm going to do this into the cut bit. I'm going to try and do it a little bit darker, just by putting a few more layers down. And perhaps here, try and do it a little bit darker here, a bit lighter towards the bottom, and then you can see the contrast between the inside and the outside. Gosh, I'm getting thirsty. I've got a drink, which I just put aside to cool. I'm next door actually. And I thought I would come and do a video while it was cooling. I've been quite a long time. go, the inside. I think I might have to stop soon and do another part, or another few parts I reckon, for this. That's okay. I think it'll break up another set of videos though that I've got going, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. Let me look at the time. Yeah, 45 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop here and come back and finish this, talk about background, or maybe do some. I don't know if this will be 2 or 3 parts, but you know, we'll see. But thank you for watching today. I hope you have a really lovely day, and you can pop back tomorrow and see the next part. So thanks again, and happy colouring.